Okay, guys, saddle up. You know how the captain says, welcome aboard? Because this one you're going to be... It's interesting that we're also talking about an airport deal here. Okay, so on the front page of Kenya's bold newspaper, The Standard, JKIA 375 billion shillings deal. It is Chivayo. That's what's on the headline. Take a breath, because the government has awarded a stake in the 375 billion shilling JKIA expansion to a firm owned by Zimbabwean businessman Wikinel Chivayo, a familiar face at State House with close ties to President William Ruto, reviving scrutiny of the project months after the collapse of the Adani deal amid public outrage. The new arrangement sees Chivayo linked interests brought in as partners by a Chinese consortium, a move already raising questions over how he secured a foothold in such a sensitive national project. How? Critics point to his prior fraud conviction, while the Law Society of Kenya is demanding full disclosure of the contract terms and warning against what it calls a repeat of the same opacity under a different name. Whether you use Adani coming from South Asia or Central Asia, or you use Chivayo coming from South Central Africa, it smells fishy. If it walks like a duck, it's not a giraffe. That's what I keep saying. So this is going to be a very interesting one to look into. I'm going to give you details of that in just a minute. Yes. So to do was it properly bidded? Did it go through the tender process? How did they come at this agreement? You see all those questions that you're asking right now, like, okay, how did they even lock horns and say that it was going to be him who was going to work on this contract, his business, this consortium, upon what were the details upon which it was arrived at? The nitty-gritty of this needs to be made very clear. I have seen the model design of what we've all seen. I mean, it's in public knowledge of what the new design airport is going to look like. Top notch. I think it would be fantastic if it gets done. Now, the process. Remember that thing we keep talking about, the process through which you awarded a particular firm the contract to then do this, then comes into question. And those are the questions now that the Law Society of Kenya is saying, let us know what exactly this is about so that we can be sure that we've not sneaked in a teaspoon or two of corruption. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So we'll look into that story in just a bit. Matiang'i warns of ID fraud crisis and blames state for enabling cartels. Many might ask what happened, because Matiang'i was the super CS during the time where a lot of the dates that we see on these ID cards were issued. Now, many have said, okay, well, if the ID itself was fake, it's very possible for anybody to have put a fake date on the ID. Follow me so far? Okay. He's called it out and said, you're enabling cartels and you need to actually stop. And his quote is, it is very shameful to say the very least, and I hope those in leadership will handle this matter with the seriousness that it deserves. Let me tell you, if somebody can get your ID as your nation for 15,000 or maybe even less, or maybe a cup of tea and a song, there's a problem. I said it yesterday. And I'll say people took me, castigated me, said, how can you come and talk about things that you don't know? I don't know. I don't know who, I don't know where, I don't know when. But what I do know is that you should not be able to hand over your national document, which is the purview of citizens, whether by natural attrition, whether by birth, marriage, whatever. It's their right to have. You should not be able to hand that over to somebody else for 15,000 bob. I'm saying something crazy? I don't know. CS defends fuel levy and says diesel prices cut by 10 shillings. So Opio Wandai says, no. He has defended the government on the recent fuel pricing measures, saying interventions through the Petroleum Development Levy have helped shield Kenyans from rising fuel costs. Sawa. Okay, it's down, man. According to the Premier, no social media for under 16s in the UK. So this is a new rule, a new law in the country. And it's saying that if you're 16 and below, all these things that you people used to do nonsense anyhow, they're saying, no, we're not doing that anymore. The PM Starmer says the sites expose children to dangerous and addictive content. Stakeholders' voice is divided, as some saying the move will keep children safe online, others think it will push children into less regulated spaces. But the Prime Minister is saying social media children under 16, no. Hi, Dennis.
I do.
Good morning.
Morning,
I'm fine. How are you?
Good.
Yeah. Walikufanya hii kitu?
Tumebadilisha miguu ya gari.
Pole
But
sana.
you made it.
You are good though.
I am here.
Nimeona.
It's
cold.
It's cold out there.
Even if he is walking around with a portable fireplace.
Okay.
Something like that. Okay, I'll give you a minute to chill. While
We can continue.
The PM in the United Kingdom,
In London.
town, has said that children under if this rule comes into play, that children under the age of 16, no social media for you.
Okay.
Because it's too dangerous. Dangerous.
My question is in the implementation.
Well, where it is now is that she's likely to face a leadership challenge in the coming weeks. Social media sites are exposing children to content that is dangerous and designed to be addictive. This is what the Prime Minister said. The ban will include platforms like Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and X, but not messaging services such as WhatsApp. This, according to the government. Yes, she's going to face backlash. The PM is going to face backlash. That is for sure. He will face the backlash. Because
then the responsibility majorly then lies with the parent. Because when you talk about social media for an underage, there's a high possibility it is now for the parents perhaps to not give children phones.
True. But the thing I'm also thinking is that you just think about any situation where you are right now. That if there's a child between the age of 10 and 18, 5 and 18, what's the first thing that they're doing when you sit in any social gathering? First thing. First thing, and you can just already... this is going to be a hard task for him.
It is.
And that when they get to Parliament, because you can't just say things in the UK. You don't just say things on the side of the road and then implement it. No.
It's called House of Representatives.
It will go to the House. I don't know. It'll be just interesting to see how it happens.
Kistama has a long way to go with that.
It's going to be difficult.
Because also the question then is, what's the responsibility of social media companies and their role in ensuring that content that is on their platform is good for children?
They're not going to, I can tell you for free.
Exactly.
That they're not going to regulate the content that they put.
Yes.
They will have community guidelines. They will talk about safety procedures and all of that. But they will not regulate, because it makes, for number one, it makes them a ton of money.
True.
And it also gives them the audiences, which again lead to a ton of money. So the bottom line is the dollar, my friend. You will not tell them to remove the thing.
I think the only way is they will have to pass a law that then gives them access to data on the social media platforms within the UK for them to determine then the kind of information that went on the social media and perhaps find them on the same. It's a long way. Unless you put up, now will you start putting up firewalls whereby or paywalls whereby, or just information walls where you have to confirm the age of a child to then allow you past? I don't know, man. It seems a real muddy at this point. It's a little bit muddy, but let's see how they handle it. Perhaps maybe it will also be an example for the whole world on how to handle it. True. Yep. Zimbabwean fraudsters firm secures a stake in the 375 billion shilling JKIA deal. You heard? Rewind selector. Play. Pull up selector. Zimbabwean fraudsters firm secures stake in 375 billion shilling JKIA deal. I'm going to read that story in a little bit, but you just palm with that one for a minute. Okay. Because now we're asking a question on the next page as to whether CEC Kerich is suspended or on an official visit to the US. Sasa, Dubai, US. Nikama. Okay. Fresh controversy has emerged over the whereabouts and employment status of Nairobi County's finance CEC Charles Kerich after conflicting accounts were presented before the High Court on Monday, where the matter came up before Justice Patricia Nyaundi at the Constitutional and Human Rights Division on Monday. Kerich's lawyer, Duncan Okach, said his client was not on the run, as widely reported, but had been away on official trip and was on working leave. So which one is it? Official trip, working leave, Nigani. My client has been abroad and on an official visit. We will request 21 days when he will have come back and he is able to sign documents for filing in court. The lawyer maintained Kerich was not evading justice, but was instead on an official trip, a disclosure that immediately deepened uncertainty over his legal and administrative status.